Hello, I'm Benny Westside, and welcome to the crash course for ARES. Today we're going to go over his abilities, T4 upgrades, level and gear, ISO 8 class, Dark Dimension viability. So if you're into that, let's get into it. I like starting with his passive, so let's start with that. God of War, on spawn, he's going to gain Safeguard. In War, on spawn, after all other characters' on spawn effects, he's going to copy and clear all positive effects, charges, and revive onces from all enemies. This cannot be resisted. So this was explained to us. If there's multiple characters with charges, he's not going to copy each charge. He's going to clear all of them, but he will copy the biggest stack. So if somebody has 3 charges, somebody has 1, somebody has 5, he'll clear all of them and he'll gain 5 charges. On turn, what do charges do? If he is charged, he's gonna gain 20% speed bar and then lose charge. So this is kind of like Quicksilver's, except Quicksilver gets 100%, he gets 20. While charged, non-mythic enemies cannot gain charge or immunity. This is also very nice. So the T4 upgrade also says, while charged, he cannot gain stun. I think this is almost essential. Let's call it essential. I think it's essential. It prevents him from being stunned. That said, it's not essential because I'll get into it. When we're just looking at this, it's not essential because more often than not, he's only going to get 1 charge, and then he's going to lose it after his first turn. And if he also copy to speed up, he's probably going to go first. I don't know if this is going to come into effect as much. But, in itself, it's not essential. But it's essential because without doing it, you can't awaken it. The awakening prevents enemies from spawning with Safeguard. And this is going to make him like an Echo tier, America Chavez tier character outside of War. And inside of War, it means he's going to be actually able to clear everything. Because without the awakening, you're going to go in. If you're looking at Infinity Watch, where they all spawn with Safeguard, he's going to copy their other effects, but he's not going to be able to clear it. So him preventing Safeguard is very, very valuable. And the good thing is they told us this is going to be in the free-to-play track, I believe, of the... I don't remember exactly how it plays out, but I know that it's going to be unlocked completely free to play. They're going to sell it first, and then it's going to be free to play. So I don't like calling awakened abilities essential because they're usually paid to unlock. But this one, especially because it's free, this one's essential. So here we go. Ultimate. He's going to spawn both with his ultimate and his special, so it's your choice. Ult's on a 5-turn cooldown. Attack primary for damage and drain. Attack primary and adjacent for piercing and drain. Apply bleed for 2 turns and ability block for 1 turn. This is unavoidable, unblockable. The T4 adds damage, and then it also says flip 1 negative effect into positive on self. I think this is nice, especially because it ups the damage. 150 is not a big multiplier. It takes it it's a 33% upgrade. So it's a very high value upgrade, but function-wise, it's not essential. And then the awakening makes it where he flips 3 debuffs on himself instead of 1, and then increases the ability block from 1 to 2. I don't think this is essential. Even if it were a T4, I would say it's very high value because it's an awakening. Especially, I don't, as I said, I don't like calling awakenings essential. Um, I'm just gonna say very high value. Um, of course, it's nice to go from one ability block to two, and flipping more debuffs on self, but it doesn't um change how he functions. All right, his special. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, and it's called Wrath of Mars, which is very cool because Mars and Ares, like it's the Roman name. Clear all barrier on primary target. Attack primary. Apply stun. Gain charge. This is okay. So he has a means of gaining charge. Then, if he only copied one charge from enemies, you probably want to use the special first. That way you're charged for longer and aren't getting stunned. And good thing we called the special or the passive essential. I know I went back and forth on it. All right. The T4 is gonna apply disrupted. It's nice, but not essential. The awakening. This one, if it was a T4, I would call it essential. Because it's not, I'm not going to do that. But this is so very high value. If you can get your hands on it, do it. Clear barrier on all enemies instead of just on primary target. And apply stun disrupted on trauma in war. It's a war character. If you can get your hands on it, do it. Alright, basic. Attack primary for damage, clear 3 buffs. Chain to 2 adjacent for damage, clear 2 buffs. The T4 adds damage. Again, his multipliers are low, so this is very helpful. It's very nice, especially because he hits 3 targets, but not essential. And then the Awakening, again, adds more damage, and also gives himself immunity. Very nice. Very nice. But not essential. Even if it were a T4, I wouldn't say it's essential. But gaining immunity on ISO attack basic is very nice. So do with that what you will. Alright, speaking of building him, this is going to be two-pronged. It's up to you. We established that the passive, where he prevents safeguard on spawn, 1, it's in every game mode. 2, it's going to be free to upgrade. The part that makes him the God of War, which on spawn clear everything, all charges, revives everything, and all buffs, that's only in war. So they told us this is a solo war character. I've posted my, or I'll post it. I recorded it, but I'll post it. Well, keep an eye out for it. My war gameplay for him. You'll see how impactful that is. But it's only in war. So if you want to use this character as a plug and play war character for those uses, go all in on him. If you're interested in war that much, go for it. But if you're not, I think this is a skippable character. We know how stingy they are on resources. So this is somebody I think that's completely optional, which is great, which gives us the sense that we have agency over our roster. This is an optional character, as I said. Down the line, that might change, but right now, that's what it is. He's a great character, but he's an optional one. Now, here's the thing. This preventing safeguard on spawn. You can use this in any game mode, especially in Crucible. Right now, Apocalypse so far has been the only character that can do that. So sometimes we even saw him getting used into Infinity Watch. We saw comps where it was Apocalypse, Eternals into Unlimited, Now, um, you don't need to spend Apocalypse for that. You can just bring this guy and bring all the other characters that would do the damage that you wanted him to do. The nice thing is, this is on his passive, and you just need to be able to upgrade to the Awakening. I don't know what level that is and what gear tier, but I don't think it's that high. You just need to get him to that. You don't even need to like put anything into these. You could do that. You could just run him as a fortifier or something with just the passive and literally bring him as like your Cable or your Emma or Echo type of character where they just need to spawn and that's it. So it's all up to you. You could not care about him at all. You could just build him to where he's a passive stick, or you could go all in on him and have a lot of fun in war. It's all up to you. That all said, he is part of the new meta, the first character of the new meta, so he has very high stats, so you're going to get good use out of him if you do build him. And if you build him very well, you can still use him in Crucible and, stun on turn 1, ability block on turn 1. These are great things to have. The only problem is he's kind of slow. He's 118 speed. Which means I don't think he's a good choice for Dark Dimension. He doesn't have sustain. He's slow. He has small means of getting speed bar, but it really isn't a lot. Like, he's not going to clear charges outside of war, so he's only gaining charge on his special. So every 3 turns, he's going to gain 20% speed bar. For somebody with 118, you're not going to see the effects of that in Dark Dimension, so I don't think he's a good choice. He's Mystic. He doesn't take a lot. I think he takes 3. But he is Hammer Tech, which is shared with Vulture, especially among some other big characters. I wouldn't recommend doing him for Dark Dimension. That's just my take on it. Now let's talk ISO class. He's the only time he's a protector, but the only time he's ever gonna taunt is if he steals a pre-taunt. And like there's no way of him gaining taunt ever again, unless it's like somebody that applies it to an ally, like a Mephisto or something. So stuff like Fortifier I don't think is gonna help him, except the way I mentioned, if you're just gonna use him for his passive in Crucible and just want to keep him alive longer, then Fortifier. Otherwise, I think it's between Raider and Striker, and especially because he's a plug-and-play character, it's really going to depend on the comp you run him in, or run him into. So if you're going into something where you're stealing speed up and he's going first, Raider makes more sense. His ultimate is a multi-hit. His basic is a single hit. His special is a single hit. His basic is a multi-hit. So Raider has a good case. Striker also has a good case because one, his high damage and health stats. Striker ISO attack takes into account max health. So those are things to consider. But I think it's really going to depend on the comp that you're taking him into. My plans for him, honestly, I still don't know. I'm thinking that I'm probably not gonna buy the passes unless they have some like extra value in terms of the other stuff that comes in it. They might do like a special pass, that's why. I will have to see. I don't know. I haven't decided. If I do buy the passes, he will be a deciding. He will factor into the decision, but again, the other resources are also going to factor into it. I don't know if I'm just going to buy straight up 6 passes of just Ares. I, I'm not sure. I will build him though. I like play characters. I think they're fun. I'm probably not gonna rocket him, but I'll probably do like a gear 17 within the first week or so, and then build him up to 18. Once Crimson becomes readily available, I will probably want to take him to Crimson because of his high stats. I'm not sure. Honestly, on this one, I'm on the fence. But this passive, you bet I will be upgrading this passive. I'm very happy to hear that it is free to play accessible. So that's for sure happening. Maybe, you know what? Maybe, as I said, I'm not sure. So maybe in the first few weeks, I just build them up to the level of the passive. That said, I think it's gonna take a couple weeks until we get it free to play. So I might not even build him until then. I don't know. Um, yeah, actually, that makes sense to me right now. I might wait until I get that passive, and by that time, I will have some more stars on him, so things start to fall into place. Then I might build him. So yeah, maybe I'll sit on him for a bit. That makes sense. This yeah. I think yeah. I don't know why I'm so confounded by this question that I'm trying to answer for the first time in front of you. Um, yeah, I that makes sense to me to wait until I have the passive awakened. That might be what I do. I'll let you know. I will post the link to his crash course infographic down below, so check that out to have on hand easy. Because it's more of like an optional or like self-deciding character, it's harder to give recommendations that are clear cut. But I think that makes the game more fun. So let me know what you think. Thank you for going over Ares with me. I hope to see you in the next one.